Are you ready?
Are you ready to rumble?
Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast. I'll be your host this evening, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, Junior, the ever ready, the always ready, Alex.
I'm ready.
Alex. How you doing, bro?
I'm ready.
Well, yeah.
I was born ready.
Like I said in my intro, the always ready, the ever ready.
My head's never ready. I can't find a freaking... There we go. It's straight. I'm good. I'm good now.
Yeah, I refuse to rock the hat even with no hair.
Why?
I've got more hair on my face now than I do on my head, I think. Is it possible that the hair on your face grows faster than the hair on your head?
I thought it all...
You do the buzz cut. You've done the buzz cut thing for a long time. You might know.
Yes, I agree.
It does grow fast?
The hair on your facial hair
fast?
grows fast, yeah.
Faster than the hair on your head?
Yeah, and it's weird because I don't, shave with a razor. I just, I use the lowest guard and clip, right? But my facial hair grows, I shaved Thursday, and it's already looking.
That's from Thursday?
Thursday, yeah.
Dude, this is from Friday.
Huh? Well, mine grows quick. Mine's a little more,
You're almost getting like full facial hair now.
Yeah.
Finally, after
40 years old.
At least it's mostly black.
I don't think I ever will. There's still some, little patches here and there.
Yeah.
I got the Virgin Islands over here.
Bahamas,
Haiti and Jamaica over here.
That's funny.
All right, let's get into it, man. Where are we gonna start?
Well, look, it's been a heart attack weekend watching these football games,
to say the least.
I mean, well, today more so than yesterday. Yesterday wasn't too bad, right? So here we are Sunday night. We just finished watching the Seattle Green Bay game, and obviously the topic is the NFL playoffs, the divisional round of the playoffs. We'll go back to yesterday and start with the first game. Minnesota went to San Francisco, and San Francisco pretty much dominated that game.
No?
How you like that?
You like that?
It's kind of, I felt bad for Kirk Cousins because he kind of got off he finally got a big win, and he was getting a lot of heat for it. But then he made that comment in the locker room, and it went viral. And now it's like everyone's going to pile on to him because he lost this week. And it's like he was never that good. It's not like he's been a clutch quarterback. He made one comment. He got caught up in the heat of the moment. Just leave him be.
Yeah, well, he should have deaded that whole you like that, because that came from when he played with the Redskins coming through the tunnel.
Right.
Right? So he should have just dead that, right? Because now he plays for the Vikings. But,
right.
At the end of the day, I thought it would be a much closer game. The 49ers, just showed to be, better than the Vikings,
You really can't. You can't overemphasize the value of a week off. Now, I mean, sometimes we overanalyze it to death, right? Because when we get to the earlier game today, the Kansas City Texans game, we're going to talk about the bye week, or I was talking about the bye week with you, and, we're going to say something different. But the bye week has a tremendous value, especially for a team like the Niners that was banged up. They needed to get healthy, and I think it did them some good to have the week off.
I think it was a clear game of men versus boys. I mean, the 49ers have just they can boss you around a little more.
Speaking of boss, somebody better figure out what to do about Bosa. That guy's everywhere. I mean, he is everywhere. I saw him making tackles in the secondary. He's all over the field. It seems like there's 3 of them out there.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing it all year long.
He looked especially so yesterday.
He's a rookie. He's a rookie.
Is he a rookie?
He's a rookie.
Yeah. Well,
so
that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, that is.
That bodes well for the future, right?
Yeah.
So good for them. They were the 1 seed going in, so they will host the conference championship game next weekend against the winner of tonight's game between the Packers and the Seahawks. But before we get to that, the second game yesterday, to me, the biggest disappointment of the weekend. And not that I'm going to take any credit away from the Tennessee Titans, But I'm disappointed in the Ravens. They looked like they were overwhelmed by the moment. They looked overwhelmed by the Tennessee defense, which I don't think is that great, but they pushed all the right buttons last night. And Tennessee just looked like they didn't know what to do in the playoffs. Like all of a sudden it was a different type of game.
Yeah.
And they really struggled. It was, and I guess it's especially disappointing to me because I really wanted to see the Baltimore-Kansas City matchup,
Right.
which now obviously I'm not going to get.
I think we all did.
Yeah, I think everyone wanted to see that,
But,
except for Tennessee fans
yeah.
and Texans fans.
But, I mean, And, we were talking about this a little while ago, how stats can be misleading. I didn't watch any of the second game. Any of it at all. And when I got home last night, I got home around when you text us and Jay about the boxing match on ESPN. And so, I really didn't watch any of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I seen that Baltimore had 531 yards of offense. I'm like, how the hell do they not win with all that offense? I mean, they still ran the ball. I think he threw for Lamar Jackson threw for 345 yards. So they still had 100 yards rushing.
Yeah.
I mean, so, I guess they didn't have any really big plays, and I guess the Titans were just able to control the clock a little better with Henry running. I mean,
they couldn't produce in the red zone. That's where they really looked bad.
Oh, well, hold on. They had 4 turnovers and 2 of them on 4th and 1s, right?
Well, they had 3. They went for it on 4th down 3 times, went 0-3. I think twice it was 4th and 1. Their inability to play smash mouth against the Titans was surprising to me. Very surprising.
Man, they were 8 for 8 on 4th downs during the regular season. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
Apparently the formula to beat the Ravens, for those wondering next season, just get them to 4th down.
Right.
And stop them on 4th down.
Right.
3 times.
Hope that they go for it every time.
Every single time. No punts.
Look, man, the Titans did not surprise me by getting into the playoffs. They surprised me a little bit beating the Patriots. They surprised me a lot beating the Ravens last night. I mean, that really, seriously. And they're doing all this with a backup quarterback.
Throwing less than 100 yards.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what else what to really think about the Titans.
It is really strange because you've got a Titans team that is running the ball extremely well.
Yeah, right.
They run left, they run right, they run up the middle. It doesn't matter. They get 4 or 5 yards a chunk, and they just keep moving the ball down the field. Derrick Henry is a man possessed, and so Tannehill hasn't had to do much. But it is concerning that, we looked at his stats during the season. He had a stretch where he was really good.
Yeah.
Throwing, 270 to 300 yards, 70% completion ratio. He's down to 50 and less than 100 yards. Not to say that.
But how many attempts is he? The attempts is not high.
He's not attempting a lot, but he's not completing a lot either when he's throwing the ball. So you just got to wonder if Kansas City commits 8 in a box and says, okay, you're not going to beat us with Derrick Henry. We're going to make Tannehill try to beat us. Is that doable, right? Is that going to happen? And I guess at that point, maybe we'll see him go back to throwing 70% and 280 yards. So it's a,
I mean, that's what
it's a pick your poison type of thing. But I think if I'm the Chiefs, I gotta go all in on stopping Derrick Henry. Otherwise, the same thing will happen to them that happened to the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm sure that's something that the Chiefs are game planning for.
Now, on the flip side, as good as the Ravens' offense was during the season, I still think the Chiefs' offense is better. And, it looked at today, and I think Tennessee is in for a real fight with them next week in Kansas City.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that shakes out for the Titans.
Let's not forget the Titans beat the Chiefs earlier in the season with a full, healthy Mahomes. So, obviously, winning in the regular season didn't translate the same for the Texans, but, still, they at least they got something to go off of, right? They can go in there and look at film and say, well, hey, this is what we did well. Let's try this again, but who knows?
Yeah, the Ravens had 530 yards of offense compared to the Titans 300.
Yeah, so I mean, like when I heard that on TV, I was like, what? And they lost this bad? Like
Even yards per play was pretty close, 5.8 to 5.7. Really, it came down to the turnovers and not being able to execute on fourth down and situations, like, and sometimes it just it's kind of weird how the game shakes out sometimes where, you end up in these 4th and 1 situations on the opponent's 36-yard line where a 53-yard field goal is a little too far, but you're a little too close to punt. 4th and 1, I'm going to go for it. They're not going to have great field position if I don't make it. And a couple of those are what happened to the Ravens. One of them I think was a little bit later on in the game where they had to go for it to kind of try to stay in it. But disappointing either way. I just hope that Lamar Jackson continues to improve. I think we're going to see him around for a long time. So if he keeps getting better, it should be interesting.
And for anybody talking shit on Lamar Jackson, I think you're dead wrong. Because, yes, he didn't come up in a big game. He had turnovers. But he had an historic season for his second year. Broke records. Led his team to the playoffs, division win, and all that. He's still only a second-year quarterback. Like, he's so young.
Yeah.
And I just think it's unfair that he's getting the rough end of the stick here, especially after these so-called experts said he has no business being a quarterback. He should be a wide receiver, and he can only improve and try to get better. So he's got so much more left to his career. I just don't think it's fair to judge him off of his second year.
Off of one game, really, because if you judge him off of his second year, you say this guy's going to be a great quarterback. He's 14-2 this year.
So,
and I mean, he didn't have. I can't really even think of a bad game that he had this year. So, he had a bad game and it was in the playoffs. And look, there's also something to the whole Tennessee. Let's not just blame Lamar Jackson and not give credit to the Tennessee Titans. The Titans have been playing a smash mouth type of football, and they're hot. And Mike Vrabel's a good coach. He came up with a good scheme. Sometimes these things happen. Maybe John Harbaugh got out-coached. I don't know. But, I don't... While I think Lamar Jackson did not play a great game, I don't lay the entire blame on him. I put some of it on Harbaugh. I think the first 4th and 1 was not necessary. And even the second one I can understand a little bit more. The first one I thought he was trying to just be a little bit of a gunslinger, and I didn't think it was necessary. I thought it was a bad move on his part. He threw
like 59 times. I'm like, holy shit.
Well, yeah. Well, they were behind. They were behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, they were.
The second half, they were trying to get back. So yeah. And even during the course of that game, there were glimpses where it looked like they might break out of it, but it just never took place. It never happened.
Well, what do the Ravens need to do next year?
I think
to get past this, to go one step further.
Offensively, they're set. They all of their key players are signed for next year. They've got room under the salary cap. I think they have to address the defensive side of the ball. They have to get a better core of linebackers. They need some help in the secondary. I think they can improve a little bit in each area of the defense, the defensive line, the linebackers, and the secondary. And I think that's where they're going to focus. Offensively, they're good, and they're in good shape. They've got all their key players signed offensively, so I think that's what they're going to do in the offseason. And, if their defense gets a little bit better and they can give Lamar Jackson more touches, yikes. Yeah. Right?
So we'll see.
So then we get to... Actually, one thing I wanted to talk about that Tennessee-Baltimore game. Huh. Now, fans of this podcast have heard me and my disdain for the VAR in soccer.
Right.
I'm starting to develop a similar dislike of replay in the NFL. I don't understand. It is getting more and more confusing. There was a play in the Tennessee Baltimore game where a Tennessee tight end catches a ball in the end zone. He bats it around.
Right.
By the time he gets control of it, he gets 1 foot down and then lands on his back on the line. And that's a touchdown. So what happened to the 2 feet in?
I don't know.
I don't get it. Like, what are we doing here? And what does it take to overturn a call? I mean, does Jesus Christ have to call down to the booth and say, that was wrong? I mean...
And even then, the referees may not change
Yeah,
it.
I mean, we had another one in the Green Bay game that we'll talk about when we get to that game. They checked it twice.
Yeah.
And they didn't change it. And it's like, how could you not? You looked... We saw... If they saw the same replays we saw, which I'm assuming they did, how can you not change it? And then, if you didn't change it the first time, why on earth are you going back a second time?
I've been preaching for a while. I would be much more happier without instant replay. Only on a few select plays. We don't have to do it on all. In challenges and all that, I'm good with no replay, man.
I'm getting more and more to the point now where I don't want any more challenges. Let me see the replay. Let me hear about how they got it wrong and move on with my life. Because at the end of the day, I think it's a big waste of time.
It is.
I think if we go back and we look at all of the replay reviews, we're going to find that 10% maybe are overturned.
Especially on the more like 0% on the pass interference.
Oh, the
ones,
pass
right?
interference is worthless.
Like,
completely
good
worthless.
luck. You got better luck of winning the lottery.
Yeah.
Than
I firmly believe that the referees on the pass interference, I firmly believe that the refs got together and said, fuck you. I don't care. You are not going to tell me that I'm going to change a judgment call. Because that's what pass interference is. It's a completely judgment call. It's not like in and out of bounds.
Right.
It's not like ball breaking the plane of the end zone. It's completely a judgment call. Did he interfere? Well, what's your judgment of interference? It's not black and white. And I think the referees, I swear, I think the referees have gotten together and said, no, that's where we draw the line. We'll do all this replay crap you guys want to do when it's in and out of bounds and all that other stuff. But when it comes to judgment, no.
I won't be surprised if the Zebras huddled up for that one.
I wouldn't be surprised either. And I think, like one of the things that was, we'll go on to the Texans and the Chiefs today. That was a game of momentum. And thank God there was not a replay call in there to kill the momentum, or else we might not have seen the fantastic game that we saw. That's my other problem with replay, right? You can't even celebrate a touchdown nowadays because you got to wait till it's replayed. Right? So there's some momentum killing there. And today's game between the Texans and the Chiefs was all about momentum and it was just
wacky,
unbelievable,
weird,
unbelievable. So during the season, I said, maybe once or twice,
or trice,
that the Texans are the best team with whatever record,
right? And
they are the worst team with whatever record. Last week, I had to change that. It wasn't just a matter of looking at the season. It was a matter of looking at the game. And I said, in the first half, the Texans are the best. Or no,
they were the worst last week.
Last week, in the first half, they were the worst playoff team I have ever seen. And in the second half, they were the best playoff team I had ever seen.
Yep.
I didn't think it could get any more crystal clear in one game than last week.
But it could.
Alas, it could. And it did. Today, in the first quarter, 15 minutes, the Texans looked like the best playoff team.
Juggernaut.
A juggernaut. And then in the second quarter, they looked like the worst.
It was amazing. That was the first thing I could think about when I was at home. I'm like, holy shit. Like, Ed's been saying this, and the Texans are playing it into existence.
I have a buddy who's a big Texans fan, and he said to me, I hope they start off losing And
Right.
I go, why? He goes, because when they start off winning, they start to play differently, and they end up blowing it.
Right.
At least if they start off losing, they adjust and they come back, and they may not come back all the way, but at least they're going to be in the game at the end.
Right.
And he was absolutely right, because that's what happened last week.
Yeah.
And that's what happened this week in reverse.
That's fucking crazy. Last week they were down 16-0.
Right. They said 16. Forget that. Watch us come back and win.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, 16's nothing. And then this week they said, you guys thought a 16-point comeback was good. Watch this 24-point comeback we're going to let the Chiefs do on us.
They said, Houston Oilers, watch us blow this. Hold our beer.
They said, Kansas City, we'll hold your beer. Go ahead and run it up on us.
Oh my god. Dude, that was... I haven't seen a game like that in a while.
Yeah, it was insane. It was absolutely insane. They looked so dominant in that first quarter. Now, I will say this. I thought going for the field goal, it was 21-0, 4th and 2, I believe, from the Chiefs' 35-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it was closer than that. Maybe it was a 30-yard line.
It was still a 50-yarder, no? I think.
It was. I thought it was a little less than 50 yards. But anyway,
Okay.
when they, and this is the problem I have with the Texans in general, right? They lined up like they were going to go for it, and all of a sudden they realized they didn't have the right people on the field.
Right.
They took a timeout, and then came out of the timeout and decided to kick the field goal. And I thought that might be a problem. It worried me because it looked like, oh yeah, go for it on 4th down and just salt this game away. And they just kind of bumbled over themselves.
Yeah.
And then they kicked the field goal, and then the wheels fell off the other way. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, Patty Mahomes, I mean, he played the game good. And I don't know if the Texans didn't coach the game right, or it's just they were just on the bad luck side of things, I guess. I don't know.
I don't think it's bad luck. I mean,
look, at the end of the day, the players got to go out there and execute. So, I mean...
Yeah, but I think, again, and I think Bill O'Brien... I think Bill O'Brien's a good coach, don't get me wrong. But he's not going to be the guy to take you to the next level. He's not going to make this franchise, or he's not going to make this team a threat to win the Super Bowl. I just don't... He's just not that guy.
It's a damn shame, too, right? With Watson, Hopkins, Fuller, shit.
Who's the running back? 23.
Hyde? Carlos Hyde?
Carlos Hyde was awesome today, and then the wheels fell off. Right?
Yeah.
And I just think Bill O'Brien is just not. He's not that guy. His clock management is always bad, and today he just made poor decisions. That 4th down, and then later on in the second quarter, he decided to go for a fake punt on his own 20.
Yeah.
And that play was shot from the beginning because, look, if you're going to do a fake punt, you've got different personnel out there. And you got to snap the ball quickly. You can't dilly-dally around because they're going to figure it out. They're going to look at that guy, that up back, and go, wait a minute, that's not the normal up back. That's a running back.
Right.
So, no, we're not going to drop anyone back. We'll bring everyone back in the box, and we'll deal with what this fake is, right? Or we'll call a timeout and figure something out. But they took too long. The Chiefs sniffed it out, and it didn't work. And that was, the momentum was swinging the other way hard. That just made it worse.
Yeah, Billy O.B. is not he's not a good conservative play caller, and he's not a good trick play caller.
He's not good aggressive. He's not good conservative. He's just not that good.
I mean, yeah, they might as well. And they're not going to get rid of him either. So
you don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
I think this might be the nail in the coffin.
Should be. Should have been in season, but
yeah, he's just not good. So anyway, the Chiefs after being down 24-0 outscored the Texans 51-7.
It's a lot of fucking points.
They were showing
51 points.
the largest comebacks in playoff history, and they've got 28, I think 28 or 28, 25, 24, 20. Those comebacks took the entire game.
Right.
The Chiefs came back in a quarter.
The
Chiefs were up at halftime after being down 24-0 early in the second quarter.
Man, if you bet the over on that game by halftime, you were cashing in your ticket.
You were like, we got it.
Right? Because the over under I think was 51. That's 52.
Yeah. Can you imagine being a Chiefs, someone who bet on the Chiefs minus 10 or whatever it was?
Right.
You're down 24-0. You're effectively down 34-0. You're like, well, that was a bad bet.
Do you rip up that ticket or you just stop watching the game?
Not anymore. Now I always keep the ticket.
Yeah.
If I was in Vegas, I keep the ticket until the clock says 0, 0, 0, 0.
Because you just never know.
No. Especially when Billy O'Brien is calling the plays on one sideline.
Golly.
So we get Tennessee at Kansas City next week. We'll preview the conference championship game a little bit after we go over the games. We still got one more game left. The Seahawks at Green Bay ended up being a great game.
Yeah,
and
I'm glad because they looked like it was going to get out of hand.
It did for a while there, right?
Right.
The Packers looked like they were going to score pretty much whenever they wanted to. But the Seahawks bared down. And look, I understand that Lamar Jackson has better numbers, and Lamar Jackson is going to win the MVP. But what Russell Wilson does for his team from behind, man, it's amazing. They had no business being in that game. They were down 21-3 at one point.
And they still lost.
And he brought them back to within one score. And if the defense could have gotten them the ball back, who knows, right?
Yeah.
But it's just an amazing effort by. And the guy, that offensive line is pretty much garbage. He's running for his life 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And somehow he's managing to run for first downs, throw for first downs. It's just incredible. Just incredible.
Yeah, he looked tired there for a minute in the third quarter.
Yeah, he did a lot of running.
Because he ran like 4 straight plays.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's a hell of a quarterback, and it's I'm sure Seattle loves having him.
Yeah.
We had another wonky replay in this game. So
I didn't get this at all.
Here's another one. I don't understand this either. A pass to the tight end. He runs a few yards. He gets hit low, and he flips over. And as he's flipped over in the air, another guy comes and hits him right on the ball. So he starts to lose the ball before he hits the ground. He hits the ground, right? The ball's already loose. It comes out, and there's a scrum for the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And very early on, it looks like there's 2 Packers fighting for the ball and 1 Seahawk kind of on the outside. And so finally they pull them apart or whatever. The referees don't signal anything, but one referee does say he's down. Okay. Well, they challenge it. They go look at the replay. In this situation, 2 things have to happen. Because it was blown dead, 2 things have to happen in order for it to be overturned.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a clear fumble, and there has to be a clear recovery of the fumble. So, they reviewed it. They came back and they said, yes, it was a clear fumble, which everyone agrees with. He was losing the ball in midair. But there was no clear recovery of the fumble. Therefore, there's no fumble. Here's my question, Mr. Referee. When you separated everyone apart, who handed you the ball?
Right.
Oh, that guy in the green jersey handed you the ball. Guess what? There's your clear recovery.
You sound like the officiating police.
What are we doing?
I think you should. You should create an account.
Oh my goodness. What are we doing?
And go over every single replay and just No,
because I'd lose my mind. I would lose my mind.
That's what would make it funny.
Thank God there was only 2 games to
all,
watch.
all the
today.
VARs and all the
Oh, no.
replays from like
I
all
think
the
the VAR
sports.
is worse.
From all the sports, I think you should do it.
I think the VAR is worse.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I mean,
like what? So
I didn't see that one, but I mean, this reviewing the review got a review.
oh yeah,
I want to know.
Third down?
Yeah, the one here late in the game when Jimmy Graham what appeared to me, if we're following this fucking yellow line, appeared to be short. I want to know what Pete Carroll said to the refs. Something had to make them
Go back and review it again.
because I've never seen it, and I'm sure you haven't seen it, and I'm sure you, Ed, have never seen that before.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
Oh my God, this has become a complaint about the replay system.
I know, that's what I'm
We
saying.
gotta stop. I gotta stop. The one takeaway I have from this Seattle Green Bay game, aside from Russell Wilson, man, the Packers took a beating in this game. The training staff was out. It seemed in that fourth quarter, it seemed like the training staff was coming out every other play to tend to a Packers player. I worry about how much this took out of them for next week.
Yeah.
Because they got to go to San Francisco. They're going to play against a team that is defensively very, very solid and a team that is very, very physical on both sides of the ball. And if they're dinged up, it's probably not going to be a good day for the Packers.
Well, it won't hurt too much because it won't be as cold as it is in Green Bay, so maybe that'll help some.
Yeah, that's true. It was pretty
I don't
chilly.
know, man. Aaron Rodgers going back to California. Ooh, he's gonna
Going back home.
He's going back home. He's gonna want to put on a nice. That's gonna be a fucking great game.
He plays well out there usually.
Usually, yeah.
So we'll see.
Last year he had a nice come from behind
Yeah.
one against the 49ers.
He has even today it seemed rather quietly played a really good game again. The thing I like about him is what he does a little bit differently than Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, if the pocket breaks down, he can go out and run.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers just seems to casually slide left, slide right, slide back, slide up. I mean, he just kind of casually moves around. He never seems to really pay attention to the pressure, but he feels it, he senses it, he moves himself into a better spot and still keeps his eyes down the field, throwing to mostly Adams, who looked great today.
Yeah. Well, he had like 8 catches for 160.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I lost my train of thought. But, I mean, the Packers have been the most quietest team of the year. I mean, they had a first-round bye, and maybe it's because Aaron Rodgers just hasn't done a lot of talking, I feel like, other than the State Farm commercials, right? But, which reminds me, we might see a State Farm Super Bowl. Right? Isn't Pat Mahomes?
That's
in
right.
the commercials?
Mahomes is in
Oh
those
my
commercials?
God! State Farm must be fucking just jizzing in their pants for this Super Bowl. Tell me not.
I bet you State Farm is betting on the Titans and the Niners. They gotta hedge their bet because they're gonna make a shit ton of money if the other two win.
Yeah, but I mean, they gotta be loving this.
Oh yeah, this has got to be.
Who are they gonna pull for?
If they both make it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think they care. Well, I would guess they would root for Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers is the more established State Farm.
Right. I'm starting to wonder now if the fix is in on this. We need
State Farm has pushed in all their chips to the NFL and said, "Look, you make sure you make the Chiefs play against Bill O'Brien because he'll screw it up."
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many times Pete Carroll wants to play reviewed. It's a first down.
It's a first down. That's pretty
The State
crazy.
Farm Bowl.
The State Farm Bowl.
That's what they're gonna call it.
Damn.
We gotta trademark that. Start making some T-shirts.
Yeah, I may switch to State Farm. Well, the only way that can happen if they sponsor this podcast. So.
That's right.
You heard it here first.
Hit us up, State Farm.
We could be neighbors.
All right, so let's look forward to next week. Who you got? Tennessee at Kansas City.
Everybody's gonna pick Kansas City, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna pick. Nobody's gonna give Tennessee a chance.
Are you gonna pick Tennessee?
That's fucking crazy.
Are you gonna pick Tennessee?
I'm not picking anybody. I'm not picking nobody in any games. I just want to see good games.
You take all the fun out of this.
I'm not picking anybody. I don't know who's gonna win.
Well, of course you don't. It's a pick.
Nah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
You're not Nostradamus.
The Titans are the fucking underdogs, the 6th seed. But how many times have we seen the 6th seed defeat the 1 and 2 seed? Bunch of times. It happened. It can happen. Yes.
It can happen.
It can. You don't think it can happen next week?
No.
Next weekend?
No, I'm gonna go with Kansas City. In fact, I think Kansas City beats them easily.
I would be pretty scared if the Chiefs get it, off to another start like they did this week, because you don't have Bill O'Brien coaching, and you have, I think, Derrick Henry's better than Carlos Hyde.
If you get down 24-0, Tennessee's not going to score 24 points in a quarter, right? If you get to the point where you're down 24-0 to Tennessee, it's like the middle of the third quarter.
Yeah, right.
You're screwed. You don't have a whole lot of time. But the Chiefs only need a quarter to score 28.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to be the one to say I'm not giving the Titans a chance, because
I think everyone has a chance.
Because but most are going to say what you just said. In fact, the Chiefs are going to blow them out. That's what everyone's going to say, but I can't say that. I don't think they're going to blow them out. I mean, the Chiefs have a higher probability of winning, but I don't think it's a blowout. I think we're going to see a tight game.
I hope so. I don't want to see a blowout. Although, at the end of the day, the Chiefs won by 20 today against the Texans, and it was wildly entertaining.
Right, yeah, that's true.
I mean, granted, they were down 24 at one point, but it was wildly entertaining.
Was it really entertaining, though? Because I felt like at some point it was like, okay, you just know the fucking... It's just not... I shut the game off. You just knew that the Chiefs were going to...
When did you shut it off?
When it was 34-24.
Why didn't you shut it off at 24-0? That's only 10 points.
Because it was still early in the game. It was still the first quarter,
I tell you what, I thought it was over. At 21-0, I thought...
Really?
Wow, the Chiefs just... And I even said to you, I was like, apparently they just didn't do anything on the bye week. They forgot they had to keep playing.
I felt there would be a game. I didn't know who would win. I thought for a minute Houston would, be able to hold up a lead.
I thought it was going to be coming into the game, I thought it was going to be a close game. And then when it was 21-0, I was like, well, I guess the Chiefs forgot they had to play this week.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the Chiefs will win, but I mean, I expect a close game. I'm not counting out the... Am I going to be surprised if the Titans win at this point? No, I'm not. Because they've already shown they can be, at one point, the best defense in the NFL with the Patriots. A very good defense in Baltimore. And a high-powered quarterback that they have. I mean, what more...
What more proof do we need?
What more do I need?
They can hang.
I mean...
We'll see.
Andy Reid is could be on the fence too, right? As far as the way he coaches and manages games I don't know, man.
Sometimes Andy Reid is a little bit scary. On the other side,
who you got the Chiefs?
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to win.
Easy.
Yeah. Plus, I had him in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I did too. Now that I think about it, but you know how
I'm sticking to it.
I give the kiss of death.
I picked him 5 months ago. I'm gonna pick him one more week.
Yeah. I think how much would you give? How much would you have to get to pick the Titans?
I'd have to get 10.
10?
Double digits.
I think it opened up at 8.
Really?
Yeah. I think it opened up at 8.
You
would take the 8?
I would give 8.
You would give 8?
Yeah,
I would give 8. I don't know.
Chiefs. They won by 20 today. It was a blowout.
Yeah. It sure was.
I mean, if you take away that first quarter, they won 51-7. Is Bill O'Brien out of a job?
Man, he should be. I don't see. He should be, but I don't think he's going to be. I don't think management is going to get rid of him.
Yeah, I totally think he should be, and I'm leaning a little bit towards the fact that the Texans will not do anything.
You know, when you stop and think about it, we talk about the Belichick tree and all that, and you know, look, I'm a New York Giants fan. I would give anything to have made the playoffs and win a division 4 out of the last 6 years, and that's exactly what Bill O'Brien has done. Obviously, like you say, he's got them to be good but not great, and you know, in order to, you know, you got to be able to get past the divisional round, and it doesn't. I don't. And he's not the right guy for it.
They haven't made a conference championship yet, right?
I don't think they have.
No. They so 6 years of being in the playoffs, and they have not made it to the conference championship game.
Remember that one year they got blown out by the Chiefs, right? Wasn't it like 30-something to nothing with Alex Smith at home?
At home, yeah. I mean, it's just I don't know. I just don't think he's going to take them to that next level.
Yeah, I agree with you.
In the NFC, who's going to the Super Bowl? The Packers or the 49ers?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Come on, who's your pick?
I'm not making a pick.
You got to make a pick.
I can't make a pick at this point.
You got to make a pick.
I have too much money. I cannot make a pick.
You have too much money?
On the game.
Do you really?
No.
I was going to say,
maybe not.
There's no way you bet.
I can't make a pick, man. I don't know. It's tough for me because, look, all 4 teams that have gotten this far are obviously good enough. And I feel like the Titans especially are the one team, just because of how they got into the playoffs and the 2 teams that they beat now, I just can't say they're going to get blown out. And then you got the 1 and 2 seeds in the NFC. The better quarterback, I mean, Rodgers, but I don't think by much. The thing about the 49ers is their defense, man. That's a tough defense to play with.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a nail biter. I think that game next week has all of the makings of going down to the final possession. And I think it's going to be very exciting and fun to watch. I can't wait to see it. That'll be the last game before the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a good one.
Who's going to win?
I don't know.
Well, see, that makes 2 of us that don't know.
If I had to pick, I would pick the 49ers because of the defense and because they're not as banged up as the Packers. The Packers really took a beating today.
Yeah.
Physically, physical beating. Seattle's a tough team to play. And, San Francisco pretty much coasted through their game yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
But, we see it so many times in sports, man, where we say, oh, man, that team's banged up. And then they just
next man up.
Somehow they get, the backups to come in and play and
yeah, the next man up is the mantra, right?
And the thing,
what it should be.
The Eagles did it,
right, 2 years ago,
and then just how quiet the Packers have been all season.
Yeah,
like nobody. I don't think nobody's really taking them seriously.
What's going to be very interesting about this game as well is you have 2 young head coaches.
Yeah,
how will they deal with this game? Right,
you got 3 actually. Vrabel's pretty young as far as head coaching experience.
Vrabel's not playing against.
Well, no, but I'm saying.
I know.
A 3-way football match.
Yeah, a 3-way football match. But no, that's the other factor I think in this Green Bay San Francisco game. You've got 2 really young coaches. One's a first-year coach. I think they're both very good. Don't get me wrong, but how will they handle the pressure of a conference championship game and a spot in the Super Bowl on the line?
And I think the advantage there, you got to give it to the Packers, right? Because Aaron Rodgers being the more experienced quarterback, right? If he has to second guess a call from the young head coach, I mean,
he'll do it.
What other quarterback do you want other than Breeze, Brady, Peyton Manning, right? To switch up a play and take matters into his own hands. The other thing I would like to see, I would like to see the 49ers win the whole thing. Because I don't know if we've ever had father and son win a Super Bowl.
No, not that I know.
Right?
No,
his dad won with the Broncos back to back.
Right, years ago. Yeah, that would be interesting.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty interesting. I don't. The one thing that kind of concerns me when we're talking about coaching, the Niners a lot of those coaches are being looked at for head coaching jobs. I don't think that's the case in Green Bay. In Green Bay, I think everyone is set and new, and so no one's looking to pilfer those guys. There might be some distraction on the San Francisco side. I don't know. We'll see.
Isn't one of the coaches just got the Cleveland Browns job?
I think he was interviewing for the Browns job. I don't know if he got it. No, I think the Vikings coach ended up getting it.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But the Niners coach interviewed for it.
Gotcha.
So the Browns said, "Let's see how this game shakes out. We'll take the one that lost." That's just the Browns being the Browns.
That's right, Doo-Doo Brown.
Doo-Doo Brown. You got anything else?
Nah, man. I think we covered the shit out of football.
That's right. That's what we do.
That's what we do. The football podcast.
What do you call it? Do you have a shout out?
Vince Carter. Vince Carter came back to Brooklyn tonight to play his last game in against the Nets.
Is it going to be his last time?
It's going to be his last. You know what? I really don't care. If he feels like he can play, fucking play, man. You're 40 years old and you've been around for 2 decades and, obviously you've slowed down, but you've still managed to not get hurt. Like, you're playing games. Whether you're coming off the bench, well, obviously he's coming off the bench, but he hasn't gotten hurt. So obviously he's taking care of himself, preparing well for games, and so shout out to Vince Carter for still playing.
It is amazing that at 40 it doesn't happen very often in the NBA. No. Less in the NBA than in other sports other than football, obviously.
If Vince Carter can play till 40, LeBron's playing to 45. I mean,
at least.
Fuck.
Well, but LeBron also has more miles on him.
Yeah, have you seen him though? He's still.
He's still in great shape.
Like, it doesn't look like he's slowed down. Like, obviously, you look at Vince Carter. Of course, LeBron's like 3 years younger, maybe, or 4 years younger.
Something like that.
Fuck. Yeah. I'm just amazed. That's all.
It is amazing. Both of those guys are amazing that they're going strong. The thing that might not let LeBron get to 45, for example,
his hairline.
Aside from his hairline, is he's been the number one for a long time. There's a lot of wear and tear being the number one, and 2, he's been to the finals how many times? Yeah. So he's effectively played an extra year of basketball, maybe 2 years of basketball with all those playoff games.
Well, if you can get Anthony Davis to re-sign with the Lakers, then he doesn't have to be the number one, right?
Yeah,
he can share being the number one.
Yeah,
which is interesting that Anthony Davis turned down the extension. I'm guessing he wants more money, right? A long-term deal. So
doesn't everyone?
Yeah.
My shout out goes to Jimmy Johnson and Bill Cowher. Both coaches were. It was announced for both coaches that they will be inducted into the Hall of Fame class of 2020 this summer in Canton, Ohio. They announced the full class on Wednesday, but these guys are on TV, and so they took the opportunity to let them know while they were on TV. Both moments were really cool. It was just really neat to see those guys get that surprise. Both of them shed a tear. Both of them very overcome with emotion of what the accomplishment means for them. I can't imagine what that's like, but it's got to be a pretty cool feeling to know that you're recognized as a Hall of Famer in your chosen profession. So, good for those guys.
It's about time. Shit.
Alrighty, folks. If you want to make a prediction on the Tennessee-Kansas City game or the Green Bay-San Francisco game, help Alex out. Reach out to the show. Email the show, positivesports10@gmail.com, positivesports10@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of Alex directly and tell him who he should pick, how do they do that?
On Twitter, @BrooklynGaucho1.
And if you want to agree with me and tell me, hey, you're absolutely right, it's going to be a blowout, and the Niners are going to squeak out a win. That's who I'm going with, the Niners.
The Niners?
Yeah, I'm going with both home teams. Anyway, you can reach out to me on Twitter as well, @eMontana21. I am running in the Houston Marathon next Sunday. So, any last-minute running tips, send them my way. I'll be glad to hear them.
Damn. It's a lot of marathons.
Marathon number 60.
60?
Yes.
Shit.
I counted. Someone asked me the other day, I was like, I don't know.
You're so analytical.
So I went back and I counted. It will be number 60. I'm
Number 60.
blessed to get to the starting line.
Damn, that's pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Impressive.
Thank you. All right. With that, we've come to the end of another wonderful episode of the Positive Sports Podcast. As always, thank you for watching and listening on YouTube, Google Play, iTunes, Podbean, whatever platform you choose. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And as always, folks, ignore the negativity. Be the positivity.
Peace.